All right, welcome to another brilliant edition of the Locker Room and Voice of the People's TV. It promises to be exciting this lovely day as we take a look at matters arising in the ever-exciting world of football. Jerry Opeliha is my name, reporting for football duties, and we've got a thrilling show for you today, and it promises to be exciting with the usual suspect, Mayana, and of course, Ikechiku live with me in the studio, ready to break down all the action and share their hot takes on what's going down in the football world. And don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP TV Live and then turn on that notification bell so you never get to miss an episode of The Locker Room. Also, don't forget to call in. It's a conversational program. The WhatsApp number will be showing on the screen for you to be a part of us. And also for those who are watching us on LCL TV, channel 264. And that's where we are. And we'll also be encouraging you to be a part of Locker Room. All right. Do the honors. So they say charity begins at home. Ikechiku, once again, another exciting time on Locker Room.
Yes, Jerry, good evening. It's a very, very, interesting time here again in Locker Room. And of course, one of Nigeria's greats, talking about Monday Sinclair, also passed away yesterday, and it was a very sad moment. Of course, we're still reeling the loss of Dudu Mayana when this legend in
July
yes,
is quite sad.
Yes, very very sad. And I mean, look at what he's done for the league over the years. He's one of those people who actually gave the life of Dudu Mayana, Stephen Finidi George, Taribo West, Imama Makabo, all these guys, into give them opportunity to become, superstars. Of course, former Sharks FC of Port Harcourt, now Rivers United, Bayelsa United, Niger Tornadoes. He's coached, quite a number of clubs in the Nigerian league. Of course, former Super Eagles players as well. And I mean, also to note, of course, he was the one who took over from the French wizard in person of Philippe Trouzet in '97 as interim coach when he actually left. So he's done a lot for Nigerian football. It's so sad that this legend in the game didn't actually have the opportunity to actually pass along that ability to harness the best of talents in grassroots, perhaps because of the failed system. But of course, again for Nigerian football, and of course all of us are for football in Nigeria in general.
All right, it is what it is, and of course, Maiwa gets to join us eventually. And I know Buemo is no longer is not available at the moment. I don't know. Okay, Maiwa, it's great to have you. I know you've been around the Chan Eagles trying to scout some players for Manchester United. Have you seen any? I know you've been talking to Eric Chell and the Ogumo Dede, but we've not heard any good news. Fabrizio Romano has not given us any update. Well, all right, go ahead, Maiwa.
I'll become the Nigerian version of Fabrizio Romano. I'll be giving you here you go from the Chan Eagles about Manchester United signing. But in any case, United is still there struggling. It's on the sad note for Nigeria. A whole lot of our ex-internationals they are passing away, and sometimes the situation they are in, it's nothing to write to me about. I saw the last interview, if I'm not wrong, the one Dudu Mayana did with this former general manager of Mountain of Fire. I can't remember his name now. He used to do program with Paul Bassi. I can't remember his name now. I don't know how his name skipped my mind now. On one of these.
Is it Godwin
Enaina? Yes, Godwin Enaina. Yeah, I saw the video, and Peter Rufai was looking like a shadow of himself. It was I could only see the bone structure. He was talking about his book, and some couple of weeks later, Peter Rufai, is no longer with us, and they said it's because of a brief illness. The video I saw, that's not a brief illness. It was something very serious, and I don't think they get the care, that they are supposed to get. And this is a challenge to the NFF. Far too many times, a lot of our ex-international, a lot of these legends that have done a whole lot for Nigeria, they don't get the care that they deserve. And it's so sad that we are losing we are losing all those people that could, really help shape our football. It's just unfortunate that, in less than 1 month, we've lost 2 people. Kadri Ekana is still bedridden, and I hope, people are doing something to help him. It's just so sad. But in any case, we continue to talk, and we hope the right people listen and do what is right for, our ex-internationals that are struggling with their health at the moment.
Yeah, our hearts goes out to those who have passed on and those who are struggling. And I haven't heard of the news of Kadri Ekana. I've not been able to go into the details of his situation. I think I was really pissed that the news even came out, because he has an influential son-in-law in the person of Yakubu Ayegbeni. And of course, the man made a lot of money when playing football, though not like he is at the moment, but he should be able to take care of his father-in-law. It should not come out. Yeah, but it is what it is. I don't know the details, so I cannot blame or say one or two things. Maybe he has done his part, and of course they wanted to widen the tentacles to other places. But I don't know. But
Jerry, sorry. The thing is, and I'm not throwing shots at Yakubu. This not trying to throw him under the bus. I mean, yes, in as much as it's do something. The hospital pictures that I saw is not a kind of place a Kadri Ekana should be. He was admitted. Where he was admitted, you could literally see all his body. You could see the equipment there are not functioning well. That is not a standard hospital. It's so horrible, and Ekana should not be in that kind of a place. So I don't think it's getting the required help. It is getting the required help. You will know from the kind of environment he's in. The environment is an eyesore, to be honest with you.
Wow. Okay.
The work of our heroes past shall never be in vain.
Yeah. Well, it looks like their past and their heroic deed are going in vain eventually. But it is what it is. The country will come from. I hope we will not be caught in the web one day, because I think there used to be a word that just pray Nigeria doesn't happen to you.
Absolutely. That's the word, Jerry.
So just pray. Anyway, let's talk about the FIFA World Cup qualifiers as the rest of the world awaits on FIFA to formally deduct 3 points and 3 goals from South Africa for fielding an ineligible player in the World Cup qualifiers game of Nigerian journalists at the recently concluded Club World Cup. A chieftain of the South Africa Football Association, we know, made a huge meal out of it. I was one of those in the Nigerian media who made a huge meal out of it, who ate jollof rice and chicken with it. He said since then, the media in Nigeria as well as their administrators refused to lie low on the issue, hence putting FIFA under huge pressure to deduct their points and goals tally, maintaining that the point deduction will no doubt throw the group open. He still believes that they will win their remaining games and seal a spot in next year's World Cup ahead of Nigeria. Yes, you cannot qualify by hook or crook. You have to do it the right way. If you snooze, you lose. Mm-hmm. So I think they should start licking their wounds, and we'll drag FIFA. And God, we have enough firepower on X who can call FIFA out. We have Amadou Pinnick.
Yes,
he has Infantino's direct line.
Mm-hmm.
You remind him in case he forgets. So anyway, while we are here, if they forget tomorrow, we can even talk about it for the rest of the month. the World Cup qualifier game will be refreshing all our
story,
programs,
different
angles to it, so that they will not forget. No problem. We are guilty as charged. But what was he expecting? I think it was Nigeria. Will South African media be quiet?
I'm wondering that. Jerry, this actually just took my mind to what happened in Nigeria a couple of years ago. So there's this local tournament that the guys were playing, and one of the best player in that particular in Nigeria at that point, wasn't he doesn't have a good crop of player in his team. So the other team was most likely going to pick it, but many of those key players in the other team were his friends. So as usual, they visit themselves and then they cook, they eat. So that particular day, the final was supposed to be played on Saturday by 4 p.m. So the guys came to his house in the morning, just, let's eat now. He cooked beans and then spiced it with marijuana leaf. So they ate and those guys slept off. This guy, so this guy na regular smoker. So they ate and the rest of them just slept off. Their system is not used to stuff like that. So they woke up around to 7 in the evening, and then the match was already done, and the other guy was won. Now the lesson here is simple: the best businessmen in the world are the ones that are ruthless. You have to be very ruthless when you take decisions. I mean, business is no pity party. This is exactly what a country or a group of people who means business would do. They see the loophole, they take it, and they ensure that they gain advantage, and that's exactly what Nigeria is doing now. The 3 points is not just going to be a 3-point loss; it's also going to be a mental damage to the South African national team, because now they will be playing every other game under pressure, knowing that whatever results that happens, if they don't get the entire 3 points in any of their games, Nigeria is locking. So that's exactly what is going to happen. So this is ruthlessness, and it's part of the business world. I don't know why they are crying. Oh, they expect Nigerians to say, you know what, let's leave them, let them just go to the World Cup. No, come on. It is football and it's business. So let them just suck this one up. It happened to us, and our points were deducted. We didn't cry foul. We didn't ask them to actually feed Tebo Mekwana. So why is it now blaming Nigeria for whatever punishment they are going to be meted? This is not even our call. This is FIFA call. I mean, like you said, we will continue to recycle this story until FIFA actually officially deducts that point, and then let's move on to the next phase of the qualifiers.
Yes, Mayowa, the man is complaining that we are talking about it too much, that we should lie low. What do you think?
He can complain all he wants. If he like, he can share crocodile tears if he wants, and we'll use the tears to bath. The thing is this. They fielded an ineligible player. It is their fault, not anybody's fault. When Nigeria did it, the last time we were playing the qualifiers, 3 points was deducted, and we ended up qualifying because we had a comfortable lead in the group. They fielded an ineligible player. It's the job of somebody in the association, in the South African FA, to track that, to monitor that. I mean, are they expecting Nigeria to take the advantage handed to them by their own carelessness, handed to Nigeria by their own carelessness? The guy can continue to cry all he wants. The bottom line is this: if you want to qualify the right way. Why are you using an ineligible player, to play a qualifier? The rules are very clear. If you feed an ineligible player, it's not as if it was because of Nigeria that they implemented this. This rule has been in existence even before the qualifier. And like Ketuku said very correctly, in business, you have to be very ruthless. I mean, in business, if you want to succeed sometimes, you have to make ruthless decisions. You don't have to look at, who gets the brunt in terms of making decisions. And this decision, Nigeria shouting about it, making a whole lot of noise about it, stands between us and getting about $30 million. Do you know what $30 million can do? Even though we know that, the cockroaches and the lizard will do something about the money, but at least we get the money into our coffers. So we have every right to complain, and we'll continue to complain. If FIFA does not do anything, we'll continue to talk about it till FIFA officially does something about it. The South African FA guy can continue to cry all he wants. The bottom line is this: they went about it the wrong way, and if you commit a crime, you are liable for the jail sentence. The jail sentence is very simple: 3 points and 3 goals. They should deal with it, find another way to qualify, and let Nigeria be.
All right. They should find another way to qualify and let Nigeria be. Okay. Still talking about the Super Eagles now, where the coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Eric Chell, has been warned to be a lot more cautious in his decision to have Chelsea defender Tosin Adarabioyo in his team. Tosin, who in the past turned down the chance to play for Nigeria, revealed during the Club World Cup that he will be open to having a discussion on the concluded Club World Cup with Chelsea. The 28-year-old was also a part of the team that won the UEFA Conference League with a convincing 4-1 win over Real Betis. And reacting to what looks like a come and get me plea. Former Nigerian international, talking about Efe Ambrose. He was a defender back in the day, and said the coach should be wary about bringing him into the team because he doesn't play in big games for his club. And the remaining games of the World Cup, Super Eagles in the World Cup, is a final. But when you look at Tosin at Chelsea, but he didn't play in their two biggest games this season. The final of the Conference League and also the FIFA Club World Cup. Is it enough to say that he's not the go-to man? Taking a look at the situation on the Super Eagles, he's already advised Eric Chell, don't make any plans on this man. He's not a big game player.
So basically, Jerry, the idea behind this is, you can, if you look at it from, you can actually look at it from two angles. No, so the first is the credibility of the person that is speaking, right? And the second is, Tosin Adarabioyo as a player. Let me speak from the credibility of the person that is speaking first. If Ambrose as a player, I mean, if Nigeria had done what we were supposed to do, right, the right players have actually, gone to that World Cup in 2002, we would not have had the likes of Efe Ambrose ever in the national team of Super Eagles. Never. The quality of Efe Ambrose should never have put on the jersey of Nigeria. That's being said. Now, let's look at the quality of Tosin Adarabioyo. I spoke with a couple of Chelsea players before the PSG final, and a lot of them said the same thing about Adarabioyo. He's too slow. He's not going to be good for that PSG game. Now, yes, every top country in the world wants starters from top clubs across the world. That's what makes you a top national side. At this point, do we have players, even as Tosin Adarabioyo is not really a first team player, or yes, not the first choice centre back, if all conditions were equal in Chelsea, if Tosin Adarabioyo is not in that particular first team, do we have a player in his level at this point in Super Eagles? No, we don't. No, we don't have anyone at this point. So very well, he's going to be an addition to the Super Eagles. Even though I'm not comfortable with the fact that he's still playing with the Super Eagles, he's really not showing that he wants to actually put on a jersey. But the fact is, we don't have a player at the centre back at this level now. So do we need him? Yes, we do. So I don't think what he's saying about Tosin Adarabioyo is actually correct at this point, because at this point, the Super Eagles, our national team and the quality of players have really, retrogressed over the years, and we can now start building quality from the level of Tosin Adarabioyo coming back to the national team. If we start having players like Tosin Adarabioyo, Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman playing for top clubs in Europe, being regulars or being key players in their team, or being players who will definitely know that at the end of the season they are likely going to play at least 20 games in top clubs, then we can now say yes, we have a very strong team in the world. So I don't know why he's coming out to talk about Tosin Adarabioyo. The only problem I have with Tosin is his lack of commitment for the Super Eagles.
All right, let's before I go over to Mayana, let's take a quick breather and of course reassess and come back. You're still watching Locker Room. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Just react. Understand. Just react. Understand.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching the Locker Room at Voice of the People Television, and we're just talking about the situation of Tosin Adarabioyo and Efe Ambrose. This former Super Eagles defender has said that Eric Chell should be careful that he's not a big game player. But Ikechukwu says that he wants to disagree with Efe Ambrose. But Mayana, what's your take on Efe Ambrose stance on Tosin Adarabioyo?
Well, we have complained, several times that we need players who are playing regularly for their club to be part of our national team. We don't want players, that are not regulars for their club to be part of our national team. That's number one. Number two, Tosin Adarabioyo has not been that consistent, especially in big games. He's always missing in big games for Chelsea. And these games that we are talking about, they are very big games. That's number one. Number two, what's his name now? Osho, the one that participated in the qualifiers under Eguavon. You remember how he struggled.
Yeah.
This is a very key position for us. And we know how we struggle sometimes when the regulars are not available. Is this the appropriate time to be testing out somebody who is not, who is big game shy, who doesn't play in big games, and we know how important these games are? That's another point that we have to look at. Another thing is this: why are we looking at Tosin Adarabioyo at the moment? I mean, I don't want a situation where I don't want a repeat of Soje situation whereby other people qualified Nigeria for the World Cup. Shola Amobi, Fetobere Soje, and a couple of them were taken to the World Cup. And what was the result? So the bottom line is this: Tosin Adarabioyo has not been part of the qualifier. He should not come at the table to be part of the Super Eagles. We have been begging this guy to come and play for us. Now he has seen that there's no prospect for him in England. He wants to come to Nigeria. I would rather have us field player from the Chan Eagles in that position than have Adarabioyo. I think I want to go with Ambrose. I think I want to agree with him. And apart from that, he has not been part of the process in all this while. Why is he interested at the tail end of the World Cup? As far as I'm concerned, Tosin Adarabioyo should not be part of our national team, and we should not be looking at him. We have enough players that are seeking the opportunity to be part of the national team. Let's look at those players. You cannot tell me that out of 400 players, we cannot get 2 or 3 defenders that will be able to step into the central defensive position for Nigeria in our league. I think we should look inward. We are going to get a replacement or a player that can step in the Nigerian league rather than wait for somebody, that has considered Nigeria, that has disrespected Nigeria with his attitude and has considered Nigeria as a second choice. Enough of making Nigeria a second choice to all these foreign-born players that don't see Nigeria as an option, that don't see Nigeria as their first option, but rather a backup option.
All right. If Ambrose came with stick, but Mayana brought Kuboko for the beating. It is what it is. I think if Mayana is in the room where they are deciding to say Adarabioyo's face, you say, please, put that name aside. I don't want to hear that name. But now, Eric, calm down. Yeah. We have players. Come to Remo. We have players.
Mayana has declared Tosin Adarabioyo persona non grata.
Yeah. No.
No, I mean, see. The thing is this. See, in as much as we have a horrible, federation in terms of the administration, we've not been able to, grow properly. It's high time we begin to take our stand. We cannot continue to have national team filled up of people who are making Nigeria a second choice. We cannot. Yes, Admiral Lukman did so well for himself, and just for that is, I'm really happy for him. He's able to turn his career around. But what he did, as regards Nigeria, he only came to Nigeria because he didn't have an option in England. And we should quit having such people in our national team. Admiral Lukman is a fantastic player. He's one of the best players that plays for Nigeria at the moment. But we cannot continue to have people who make Nigeria as a second choice represent us. They will not understand the passion. I mean, you can't compare the 94 team with the team that we have at the moment because most of them do not have genuine connection to the team. I mean, it's high time we stop all this importing players that make Nigeria a second option, and we expect them to represent us very well. It just does not work, and it also affects our own development. I mean, what is stopping our national team from having 6-7 home-based players as part of the national team? We should stop looking at. I mean, I'm not even sure we're going to qualify for the World Cup. Why not? Let's forget about 2026 World Cup. Let's plan ahead for 2030, and let's start a project that will integrate our, Nigerian-born players, our players that are doing it, that are killing themselves week in, week out in the league. let's have a program that will integrate them into the national team. These guys leave Nigeria, they go abroad, and they perform well sometimes. Are we saying they are not good enough to make the national team? We should stop importing people who make us a second choice. It just does not make any sense.
And anyway, Mario has already given his decision. Who am I to go against the Oracle? The Oracle has spoken. Anyway, Nigeria international forward Kelechi Iheanacho is back in training with Spanish La Liga side Sevilla, but not with the first team after his recovery from what the club said was a case of indigestion. Back from a loan spell at Middlesbrough, which didn't go according to plan, the 28-year-old Nigerian, who has a year to run on his deal with the Spanish side, isn't sure of his future at the club. He joined on the free transfer last summer from Leicester City. Maybe he should consider the NPFL. I think Eimba is recruiting, and Remo Stars will want to play in the CAF Champions League next season. What do you think? At least he come on loan and rejig himself, play in the Chad, and sell himself.
Yeah. So the reason why, players who perhaps must have lost reach, their quality in Europe go back to their countryside. A special case to mention is Brazil. It's the fact that they have a league where, even if they cannot pay as much as they pay in Europe, they will pay you, you most likely earn a very decent wage that is mostly a week in Europe. How do you expect him to come to Remo Star where their budget for a season is not even up to £100,000 for the players? These are the conversations. So coming back to the NPFL is totally ruled out. It's never going to happen for him. Now the question is, does he still have quality to play in Europe? He still does. I think he really needs to now focus on himself, and because of course there are reports. There've been reports of the kind of lifestyle he lives as a player. I think that's one of the reasons why he actually dropped form at some point. Now I think a couple of weeks ago Sevilla came out talking about Kelechi Iheanacho, and how he's been too slow and perhaps very lazy. And Iheanacho also responded by actually where he dropped the video online where he was actually training, and then he was showing that he's still very much active, just like what Neymar actually did in response to Paris Saint-Germain when they actually said he's too fat. Now, when stuff like this happen, it shows you that there's a crack between both parties, and when that happens, certainly one thing is inevitable. What's inevitable is the fact that the said player will definitely leave the club side. The club will never leave, their house for the player. Now, Kelechi Iheanacho has found himself in that particular position. He's definitely bound to exit Sevilla at this point. And now the big question is, which club in Europe will be demanding for his service? A player who has not really been active, over almost 2 years now. We've not really seen anything about Kelechi Iheanacho. Even the national team, he doesn't really get call up as expected. When he even gets the call up, he doesn't even play. So his stock has really dropped. Now the best bet for him right now is to actually go to a championship side. Perhaps he's going to actually start from there, get back his act together, and then come back to who he's supposed to actually be. Kelechi Iheanacho is still very much 28. This is supposed to be the peak of a player's career when we talk about attackers. And he still got about at least 2-3 years to actually give, at the highest level. Yes, this season might just be that season where he needs to actually put it together and then start, firing on all cylinders again. As far as Sevilla is concerned, he's done, and I think he should start planning his next move. Maybe Birmingham City, or one of those championship side that is actually, having a very good project and having a good plan to come back to.
Or those who just came to the Premier League.
Or those ones who actually just came to the Premier League, or those ones who just left the Premier League. He just needs to actually find the right spot. Even if it's not even in England, he can actually go to Turkey. One of these top clubs in Turkey, and of course, other leagues.
So even the Saudi league are not interested. It's not marketable at the moment.
Absolutely. So he can also even go to countries like Belgium, to actually start all over again. So he still gets a lot of options. I mean, he still what he's done over the years, he can still very much speak for him. But he needs to actually leave those lifestyle that actually put him in this position.
I would advise that he should leave the Nollywood ladies. He should leave those BBL alone and concentrate on his football. Maybe and they should go back to where he used to buy that his soap. That soap that he was using, senior man soap. I don't know, maybe the soap has finished.
That soap that gave Leicester City.
Your mind is no more. I don't, but maybe Irabiji, you can talk to people there so that maybe No, connect it to a new soap. I don't know.
Well, maybe you should come and contact him. I'll take him to a rugby G. I know some places in rugby that I can visit, and things will change. But on a more serious note now, I think the thing is since he left Man City, he has been on a steady decline. And leaving Man City the way he left Man City, a lot of people attributed it to him not succumbing to the agent Guardiola wanted and the rest of that. However, if you look at his trajectory since he left Man City, you know that Guardiola was very, very correct. The work ethic is very, very poor. England and do a loan spell with Middlesbrough. What happened in the loan spell? He couldn't cut it in the loan spell. Now he's back in Sevilla, and they're already complaining. The season has not even started. They're already complaining about his attitude in training. This has to do with attitude. Ian Nacho is 28, according to the papers that we have. According to the papers that we have, he's 28. He needs to put in the work to be able to get his form back. Jamie Vardy did not get to his peak, until his late 20s. And look how Jamie Vardy did for over 10 years. He stayed consistent for over 10 years. Jamie Vardy is 39 now. He stayed consistent for over 10 years. Ian Nacho can still do it, but he needs to put in the work. And on a more lighter note, he's a single guy. He needs to caution himself as he goes, toying around with Nollywood, this thing. Leave Nollywood alone. Focus on it comes together on the field of play, and bigger clubs want to share money for you, and you have more money to spend on the Hollywood parole.
But Maya, what is wrong with a man watching Nollywood? What is wrong with watching Nollywood?
You should leave all those BBL alone.
He wants to watch
it. Sometimes.
I mean, some persons are not.
If you take the job of where you came, if you take that job more seriously than you actually.
Hollywood, Jerry.
Anyway, maybe he's his pimp. So you understand, he's trying to cover up for his agent. So I don't know.
And the bottom line is this: when the Rasmatas sees, everybody will run away. I remember a particular guy, and the guy that plays for Watford, I think it's Isaac Success. If I'm not, maybe
Isaac Success. Yes,
Isaac
Success.
Remember what
was always found in those joints.
Yeah, remember what he was doing at Watford. Remember, he was earning £30,000 and he was carrying 2-3 women every week. Where is that success now? Where is he at the moment?
He's successful.
Ian Nacho should be very, very
successful
careful.
failure.
I think he should do better than what
That's
he's
what
doing.
it is. There are failures who are successful as far as Mourinho is concerned. So he said it's
success in
failure.
Specialist in failure.
Specialist in failure. So he is successfully failing his own self. But it is what it is. Wish Ian Nacho the best. Definitely, he used to be a player after my heart. Very fantastic talent. Back from his Yemitela days when he played for Yemitela's team and under 17. I saw him as the next big team. I saw him as
not the Yemitela's
team. Was it Yemitela's team?
Not Yemitela's team.
Which team?
It was after Yemitela that Ian Nacho came.
Was it Ogu or something?
Yeah, 2013.
Okay, and I saw him as a perfect 10.
2011.
I saw him as a perfect 10, but it didn't happen. All of a sudden.
John
that move he made to, I still fought the move he made to Man City.
No, it's academy. It's academy, and he likes he pays attention to details. There are certain things he wants you to do as a player. He likes to condition his players. Run like this, make this move like this. This is exactly what you need to do. He gave Iheanacho a couple of chances to actually excel in Manchester City, but he couldn't just do it. And that's exactly why they actually moved him to Leicester City. Now, we can say, okay, Manchester City at that point, the pressure was much. There are a lot of top talent. The likes of Mahrez was there. So, a lot was on his shoulders. Now, you move to Leicester City, where the competition there was very, very, way lesser than where you're coming from. I would have expected him to gain stability at Leicester City. But what happened? The same thing happened. He couldn't actually keep up to the pace at Leicester City. And that's exactly where he actually failed completely. Because if he had succeeded right there at Leicester City, by now he would have been one of the top players in Premier League, perhaps even in middle team. But he would have gained a lot of respect because he would have been there for a couple of years. Maybe Everton now, maybe one of those teams. That's exactly how he would have been moving. Wilfred Ndidi is still very much there. They actually played together, so there's no reason why Wilfred would be there and he would have been he wouldn't be there. But because he got to Leicester City, he was struggling, and see, people talk about that season that he was talking about soap. for Leicester City. There was no season you look at Iheanacho apart from that particular season that they won the FA Cup. It was that particular season that they won the FA Cup. It was not regular at any point until that particular season. And perhaps he has gained his footing. We're expecting him to actually keep up to the momentum. He couldn't. And that was where everything just, like you like to say, yam pepper scatter. Everything just, went into, what will I even call it? It just lost every ability he has as a player. Because after that season, his Nollywood appearance became very, very, consistent. And that's exactly where he failed completely. So if he wants to actually get it back, right? If he wants to get it back, I think he needs to actually understand that he's first a player. When he retires, he can now go to Asaba and face, Nollywood full time.
I know he was a client of one of those very prominent Nollywood actresses for the purpose of being anonymous. I will not say the name, but we all know the story, those behind the scene. Go and do your research. I've done mine, but I've decided to keep it to my chest.
Jerry, there was even a game, in a Super Eagles game. There was a time that, I don't know if you remember when the likes of Iheanacho, the coach, I can't remember who was the coach of the Super Eagles who was trying to actually take the right. A day before that game, these guys were actually partying and enjoying themselves, a lot happened before that game.
Yeah, I remember
so these are the sort of things that, when you look at him and you understand that this guy is actually not business-like. And it's not just him, Jerry, it's not just him. A good number, if I had 90% of Nigerian players, when they get to the top, where they start earning money and their family is settled, trust me, every single thing that actually took them to Europe is over.
They get carried away.
It happened to even our own Mikel.
And he had to be called
yes, it happened to Mikel.
He had to be called to order.
Yes, he was called to order.
Of his agent.
So it tells you about what is in fact an average African. It's a big problem for us.
All over the world, the thing is that youthful exuberance.
Jerry, when you are coming from a place where the economy is stable, a good number of time, when you start making money, it's not a problem. Look at Florent Waite.
When you have experienced extreme poverty, so
that's the
you
problem.
now suddenly become rich overnight. It now takes discipline to be able to control that success.
I mean, those that will not talk to you before, they are DMing you now. What do you expect?
You understand that?
That bomb that you've been admiring will now suddenly chat you on Facebook. Baba will not recollect that opportunity comes for once. I wonder what the will do in that situation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It is what it is. I'll leave it under the ramps so that we'll not go into having a fracas.
The last picture I posted says it all, so we know.
So evidence poor. It is.
Which picture be that?
Maybe we'll put it up so that producers will.
Maybe Chelsea jersey.
No, I don't know. Anyway, I can't see.
I don't know.
I don't know
what are you guys talking about.
I don't know. It is what it is. But let's talk about what's happening over in Europe. And it looks like Ademola Lookman's situation is looking more interesting. Former Inter Milan striker, talking about Christian Vieri, has backed Inter's potential move for the Nigerian winger, Ademola Lookman, who is close to joining the club from Atalanta. And Inter has offered 40 million euros, but Atalanta is reportedly demanding around 50 million euros for the talented player. They should get this deal done as quickly as possible. Vieri says so. He's a legend. He has seen the talent in Lookman and says, this is what is good for Inter Milan.
These are the people who can actually speak, not just in Inter Milan now, in Italy. And the people who listen, yes. Yeah. I mean, he did the Azzurri proud. He's a key figure. One of the, in fact, when you look back at Inter Milan and say, okay, Inter Milan, I enjoyed glorious days in the 90s. These are the people you look at. When you talk about the Italian national team, these are the people you look at. Just like what we were talking about Chiellini the other day when he gave you his opinion about Osimhen to Juventus. These are the figures that, a couple of years later, the club will not forget. Because they've given their all to the club and they have a very rich history. They've done the incredible for the club and they've shown extreme loyalty. Christian Vieri is one of those players, and I mean, for him to be telling the Italian national team, the Inter Milan side to get Ademola Lookman, it means that deal is most likely going to happen. And yes, it's going to also be an upgrade for Ademola Lookman. I can't wait to see that happen. It's completely outgrown Atlanta, and if he continues to stay in Atlanta, it's going to really affect his stock. It's going to affect his talent. For a man who got as high as 14th place in the Ballon d'Or, I think we'll have to actually he has to be aiming to actually go further. And there's no other way you can actually go further by actually joining a team that's you feel its quality that will really complement your talent. And it's a good one for me if you can actually really make that move. He's the best player in Africa for crying out loud.
All right, Mayowa, Vieri says it's good to go. Here we go. So just 10 million in separating Inter and Atlanta agreeing. I think Inter should pay the money, or Atlanta should just let go. The guy has paid his dues.
Well, I think he had a gentleman agreement with them when Bayern Leverkusen were on his case the last time, and then decided to stay one more season. I think Atlanta should honor the deal and let him go now. That's number one. Number two, a Vieri speaking up for you goes a long way. These are people that will speak and the club will listen to them. Vieri is a legend for Inter Milan. And then, when he opens his mouth, you don't hear Vieri speak anyhow. When he speaks, that is somebody, that's a legend, standing as a guarantor for you, that he believes in what you can do. Despite the fact that we can see, it's very clear to the blind. But, a legend speaking for you goes a long way. And I will not realize if before the end of the transfer window, the deal is struck. We might end up seeing Inter Milan part with 50 million, because I feel an Ademola Lookman at 27 brings a whole lot of value, will bring a whole lot of value, to the 50 million that they are bringing in. It's going to replicate that 50 million in many places in terms of winning the league, having a shot at winning the league, competing in the Champions League, and domestically too. So yeah, I would not be surprised if the deal is done. I think before the end of the transfer window, I think Ademola Lookman becomes an Inter Milan player.
All right, it is what it is. Okay, time really fast spent. We just have to go. I would have loved to talk about Newcastle United as hands off. So it's all Liverpool for Ekitike right now. And I didn't even know that French police also collect bribe too. So it's not only Nigerian police and other police. No, did I say it? Anyway, it's not the other police, but even the French police is being investigated alongside Mbappe for giving them money. But it is what it is. We'll have to go. Big thanks, Ikechukwu.
It's good to be here, Jerry.
Big thanks, Mayana. Big thanks to you guys behind the scenes, talking about the likes of Alex, Victor, Paul, and of course Hassan. My name is Jerry Apello. I say thanks for being a part of the show. And to meet again, stay safe, and if not to it at all, do it the sports way.